Well, hey there and hello, and welcome to the upstairs candy wallpapered hallway of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers for September 19th, the day of fine appearance. And here at the top of the page is a visual representation of the day of fine appearance. We have us. Well, it's a large flower with a very predominant stigma there. Oh, day of fine appearance indeed, especially the predominant stigma. I don't know what kind of flower that is, not being a botanist, but hey, maybe the appearance thing and the flower itself shows itself later on in the reading as more significant than it might appear. Not necessarily, but maybe. We'll see. In any event, hey, is it September 19th and it's your birthday today? Oh, well, if it is, I just want to say happy birthday. That's right. That's why we're here, to wish you a happy birthday. And if this video finds you, I don't know, long or shortly well after your birthday has already come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. That's right. But for everyone else who's joining us randomly, or more ideally, to celebrate the September 19th birthday, well, I just want to say hello and welcome, and I hope you enjoy yourself. Now, before we dive in with the birthday redirect, something we like to do around these here parts is roll some dice. That's right. It says the DykASSt birthday cast, so we need to live up to the namesake there. But more importantly, we do it for synchronicity's sake. And ooh, we rolled us some doubles today there. I was going to say this morning, and that kind of works. Anyway, a 1 and a 1 for a 2. That's right. A 1 and a 1 for a 2. So what is synchronicity? Some of you may be wondering. Well, it's just you getting out into the world and letting the universe show you it's with you on your path. And you do that by chasing down your numbers when you see them. Now, you don't necessarily have to go with the numbers I rolled for you, but the intention's there. Maybe get your own dice so you can ascribe directional values and time values for how long you go in certain directions. That's right. And chase down your numbers. That's right. So maybe you see a car with a 22 plastered in the I don't know, maybe on the hood. And so you follow that car as long as you can, or for, 5 minutes if you're driving after it. Who's to say? It might take you down some winding roads, places you've never been before. And then maybe you see the number 2 bus down there in the distance. Well, maybe park your car and jump on the bus, see where it takes you. You never know. And hey, this is your day of just following the signs. And you never know. Maybe the universe will direct you to get off the bus at stop number 2. And when you get off, you find yourself at a flower shop with some very predominant stigmas. Who's to say? Sometimes a day will take on a random theme. But that's all it is. The universe showing you it's with you on your path. And sometimes it does that by putting little things in your path for you to recognize if you're open to it. But in any event, even if you don't see your signs, you got out and you're getting your steps in, you're doing something interesting with your birthday. Because let's face it, as we get older, sometimes it's kind of a boring day. But hey, let's liven it up, all right? Hopefully, by getting in with your read. I think you get what synchronicity is. A 1 and a 1 for a 2. All right. Your month of September, your day the 19th, your sign is 25 to 27 degrees Virgo of the Virgo Libra cusp. And that's the first day of the cusp. So how about that? A little bit interesting. All right, and your quality and element is mutable earth. All right, September 19th, the day of fine appearance. Those born on September 19th are very much concerned with the appearance of things. Not only their own physical appearance is important to them, but also that of their home, surroundings, and family. Regardless of their financial situation, they are usually very orderly, even compulsive personalities who are able to organize everyone around them into one smooth running unit. And those born on this day are fascinated by beauty in many forms, but particularly sensuous physical beauty. Their own clothing and grooming is most often immaculate, and if they choose to appear sloppy or disheveled, they do it with full awareness of its impact on others, much like wearing a costume. In general, September 19th people adopt the values of their society in dress and taste, but if they wish to attract attention, they are also capable of fashioning a more striking look, no matter how far out their appearance or at what variance it is with accepted norms. However, an awareness of taste is always present, and some September 19th people may be labeled as superficial, and rightly so, concerned as they are with outward appearances. However, a more highly evolved September 19th person is just as concerned with inward, spiritual beauty as they are looks. And most people born on this day find themselves somewhere in the middle. All right, torn between the easy enjoyment of worldly pleasures and the more lasting but hard-won fulfillments of life. And the key is for September 19th people to allow themselves the appreciation of life's passing show while holding fast to that which matters most. And those able to do this can take pleasure in their attractiveness, sense of style, and material possessions without losing themselves in the process. On the other hand, those September 19th people who cannot resolve this central issue may grow increasingly dissatisfied with their lives and less enamored of manifestations of beauty which they once found so attractive. In order to move up the evolutionary ladder of self-development, they may go through a phase of rejecting possessions, elegant surroundings, even their own carefully crafted image. And September 19th people who have experienced financial deprivation and or the daily battle for subsistence generally display a great determination to leave humble beginnings behind and work their way up the social ladder. And in doing so, they often transform themselves in the process. And indeed, a quiet, withdrawn, or unworldly person born on this day can, in a few short years, blossom into a successful, aggressive, and confident social being. September 19th people must, however, beware that in advancing so far, they lose touch with their past and forget those who once meant so much to them. Maintaining meaningful contact with their roots is important to their psychological well-being. All right, how about that for a birthday breakdown? Pretty interesting, I'd say, and really drilled down on the beauty dynamic. All right, let's see what I had to say about your birthday. I got some notes I'd like to dive in with and provide a little commentary of sorts. All right. September 19th, very much concerned with the appearance of things, personal appearance, home, family, and surroundings. So very orderly with people and things, all right, which apparently extends to physical beauty. And the word sensuous popping up, invariably the word superficial comes to my mind in like kind, all right? Hey, no judgment. I'm sure there's a difference, and I figure I'm quite similar in that regard, though it's a little bit of a handicap in a lot of ways. To say the all too often disregarding some things at first glance, kind of a judging a book by its cover sort of thing. But that has worked out in my favor in a lot of select circumstances. I'll dismiss something out of hand in one area of my life only to discover it later and right at a moment in time when I need it. I did that with the Beck Sea Change album. When I saw the cover, I was like, man, it just looks like he's on drugs. I don't need that in my life. And I just dismissed it out of hand, even though I liked him as an artist. And then years later, I found that album, and it hit me at just the right time. It was a breakup album, and it helped me get through a lot of the stuff I was dealing with. So that's, for me, that's the perfect example of judging a book by its cover. And who cares if he was a druggie or not, just based on the cover. It's just the cover. It doesn't mean nothing. That said, where are we here? Discover it much later on when you need it. You're also keen to a sense of intention, style, and have a sense of taste. And here we actually arrive at the word superficial in the reading. And it was a good guess on my part. See, I don't necessarily read the whole book and then do the notes. I go line by line. And so superficial popped up in my mind, and then we hit it in the book. So it was a decent guess on my part. And the reading discusses the stages of evolution concerning as much. Superficial, I mean. And it's interesting that a reinvention of sorts can overtake some folks on this day because they haven't examined evolutions in some time. So perhaps it's something to be mindful of, or something September 19th folks are sometimes known for. Who's to say? I'm also one for doing things in earnest, all right? Reinventing yourself seems a little drastic in my mind. But anyway, especially if they are big life changes. I'm doing them in earnest. But what works for me, I know firsthand, doesn't work for others. So you do you, all right? I just never understood some folks' capacity to writ large discharge big parts of their life. But again, that's you do you. It's admirable in some cases, but over my head from a nostalgic point of view. I cling to those things in my past quite a bit. So kudos to you if you're able to get rid of it. I don't know. I think of it as a handicap in some regards, but also I'm a bit of a romantic, so I treasure a lot of that stuff. But the book touches on as much, with a mention of folks forgetting who they were, and to maybe avoid doing that for your own psychological well-being at least. And who's to say, maybe you forget a lot of folks, they maybe didn't have a great childhood, or maybe those memories aren't the best, so they would rather forget that. And I had a pretty decent upbringing, really decent if I'm being honest, so it's hard for me to just dismiss all of that, but I could imagine the folks that didn't, and so for them, it's probably best that they unload on all of it. But you know what? It's good to know where you come from, even in that circumstance, just to see how far you've come and maybe the challenges you've had to overcome to get there. Who's to say? But in any event, let's press on rather with your numbers and your planets. All right, those born on the 19th of the month are ruled by the number 1, as 1 plus 9 equals 10, and 1 plus 0 equals 1. And by the sun, that's right. So those ruled by the number 1 like to be first and tend to be ambitious and dislike restraint. And because of the fact that September 19th people are born on the first day of the Virgo Libra cusp, which is influenced by both Mercury, Virgo's ruler, and Venus, which is Libra's ruler, there is inevitably a strong thrust in their lives to shine brightly in the world and to harness their mental energies to produce beautiful things. Okay, all right, what I have to say about your numbers and your planets. The number 1 and the sun. All right, here we go. When I read this, I got a little excited, all right? And I'll tell you why. Because of the sun rulership, all right? Because I should have guessed it was a sun rulership just based on the breakdown. But they always surprise me, and I'll tell you why. Sun-ruled folks always make for an interesting and laser focus on the theme. And yours with the appearance is right there in that vein. Though the focus is always different. So you go back to the Leo time frame. Everybody had a sun rulership. Well, the latter part, those Leo 3s, man, they really drilled down on some interesting themes. And so I was always over my head, and I always thought it was interesting. Anyway, pressing on with your birthday. Okay, we also enter into a new rulership dynamic, and I'm very interested in learning about that, insofar as it's the first day of the cusp. So let's see what this period's all about. That's right. Interested to see as we go forward. And you have a focus on producing those beautiful things. So being an artist myself, or at least what I like to think as an artist, I'm also looking forward to seeing what that might pertain to. So it just sounds cool, and I hope it's as interesting as it's seeming like it will be. All right, so with your numbers and planets being discussed, let's move on to your tarot. Oh, one of the more eclectic of the metaphysical ideologies and philosophies, but hey, let's open our minds to new ideas, even if we don't want to believe in them. And it's here in the book. It's fun. Let's dive in and see what they have to say, right? We don't necessarily have to ascribe to it. In any event, the 19th card of the major arcana is, well, how about that? The Sun. All right, it can be considered the most favorable of all the major arcana cards, and symbolizes knowledge, vitality, and good fortune. It does, however, suggest negative traits of pride, vanity, and false appearance. Oh, getting into the appearance there. And since, as mentioned above, September 19th people are highly concerned with appearances, they must avoid superficiality and falseness of any kinds. All right, how about that? The sun and superficiality. All right, another sun dynamic here, though a bit different, all right, by any regard. It's just ironic, all right? So positive attributes of knowledge, vitality, and good fortune, which one would ostensibly need if and when reinventing oneself, at least I would argue. But again, the negatives warn of superficiality. And I'd say just be mindful of what you may be missing in life, okay? Dismissing things out of hand, once again, despite being easy to do. Yeah, it's easy to judge things based on the cover and just let them go. But hey, we might be missing something. Something that might benefit us if we were just to look at it a little bit closer. That's right. So maybe dismiss things in earnest. That's right. Okay, hey, we did your tarot, so let's move on with your health. All right. Those born on September 19th are generally attentive to their skin, hair, and physical cleanliness. And if they wish to look their best, it is important that their soaps or cosmetics be strictly non-allergenic and that enough healthy fats be consumed to give their skin a supple appearance. In addition, lecithin, supplemental calcium, zinc, and selenium, as well as iron, if necessary, are suggested for nails, teeth, and hair. Well-rounded, full-bodied diets are thus recommended, but fats and proteins should be held in check at acceptable levels. Regular full night's sleeps are essential for a rested appearance, as is avoiding stress. I think most of that stuff's pretty straightforward. We could have guessed at that without even having to have read it. All right, what do I have to say about your health? What do we got here? Your health once again drills down on appearance, all right, and the materials necessary to maintain that from a beauty standpoint. Allergies being one facet, one may want to give consideration, considering the book has never mentioned as much in that regard, nor have they drilled down to such an isolated view on just one aspect of your health. And I wouldn't necessarily say beauty is in and of itself a health thing, but I don't know. It is a day of appearances, so it's interesting that they drilled down on that. Usually the book has never, no, I said that. Just the one allergy they have mentioned in the past is wheat with the diet. I would say the gluten stuff. As far as allergies is concerned, but you may already do as much with the allergenic beauty cosmetics. So yeah, just suggestions for your appearance is what they focus on, but don't forget your psychological well-being. I think they missed an opportunity to kind of drill down on that a little bit. But hey, maybe they're gonna dive in more with that when they get to your advice. That's right. Let's dive into your advice. Okay. Be true to yourself. Don't forget your roots, all right? And beware of all forms of material attachments and seek spiritual goals, and having attained them, do not forsake them. Cultivate loyalty and emotional depth. All right, hey, just 2 lines in the book for your advice, but I would say there was a lot of value there. All right, and they tend to do as much. Yep, a return to the subject of your roots. Okay, getting into the notes here. Be true to yourself. That's huge. And I like to add, do yourself proud, all right? That's one I always live by. But truer words never been spoken. I'm sure they have. But hey, these ones work for today, don't they? But however you realize that, I say we're always evolve, okay? We keep evolving. So cultivate loyalty and emotional depth for sure. That's very wise in my humble opinion. But yeah, don't forget where you come from, all right? Either good or bad. I think it's good to be reflective on such things. All right, that's been your advice. So let's take the energy down just a hair and dive in with your meditation. All right. Are you ready? Dig a little deeper. Ooh, might be the shortest one yet. Let's do one more time. Dig a little deeper. That's right. Hey, that's your meditation. I'm gonna let you take it for what it is. If I threw my take on it, it would just affect what you might get out of it. So I'll leave it at that. It's your birthday. It's your meditation. And with that being said, let's dive in with your strengths and your weaknesses. All right, are you ready? Okay, your strengths. You're tasteful, you're elegant, and you're organized. And your weaknesses. Are you ready? Hold your breath. Your weaknesses, you're trendy, compulsive, and can you guess the next one? Materialistic. Oh, you thought I was going to say superficial. You thought I was going to say superficial. At least I did. But no, materialistic. It's close, but a little different. Trendy, compulsive, and materialistic. Well, not the worst things in the world, right? Certainly things that you can overcome. That's right. Okay, so that's been your strengths and your weaknesses. And let's move on to those born on this day. And as we dive in with those born on this day, I'd like to take this opportunity to examine something I think is important. And that is finding your passion in life. That's right. Oftentimes meet people out in the world and I ask them what they do. And more importantly, if they like it, and they oftentimes don't. And hey, for good reason. A lot of times we don't have time to put in the necessary work it takes to figure out your passion or how to make money with it if you do have one. Or, it might seem so general. Everybody else is doing it. How to put your own unique spin on it. Make it individualistic to you or whatever. You got to have time to put in the work. And when you get out of school, you got to get a job. You got to find financial security, put food on the table, wash the bed sheets on the weekend. You just never have time. So I figure diving in and finding out who shares your company is the perfect opportunity to see what other folks did with their passions and what put them on the map, got them in the book, gave them some kind of influence over the culture, and perhaps can give you some inspiration for your own passions. All right, let's dive in, shall we? Those born on this day, we have Cardinal Armand Jean Duplessis de Richelieu. French name. I'm always bad with those. French priest and statesman, and he ruled France under Louis XIII. And he defeated Spain in the 30 Years' War and survived numerous intrigues. We also have William Golding, a British novelist of Lord of the Flies, Emil Zatopek, a Czech Olympic 4-time gold medal winning distance runner, and he won 5,000, 10,000 meter run and a marathon in a single Olympics. That's a lot of running. We also have Brian Epstein, the Beatles manager, and it says he overdosed on sleeping pills. I didn't know that. Autobiography was Cellar Full of Noise. We also have Jeremy Irons, the British film and TV actor. We also have Twiggy, the British model and personality. Brooke Benton, soul singer. We have Cass Elliot, the singer from the Mamas and the Papas. And we have Willie Pep, the 2-time world featherweight boxing champion and often cited as a paragon of boxers. We have Joe Morgan, a baseball infielder and twice the National League MVP, and he led Cincinnati to 2 World Series. 2 World Series titles, rather. We have Duke Snider, the Brooklyn Dodgers slugger, it says. Joan London, a TV journalist of Good Morning America. Leon Jaworski, special Watergate prosecutor. David McCullum, a TV man from U.N.C.L.E. We also have Richard Muhal Abrams, jazz pianist, composer, and administrator. Zandra Rhodes, a British fashion designer. We also have Paul Williams, the singer and songwriter. Marshall P. Wilder, the dwarf humorist, writer of People I Have Smiled With. Henry Charles Leah, publisher and historian. And Alessandra Martins, an Italian ballet dancer. And that has been those born on this day, and in essence has rounded out your birthday reading, except to say your season is summer. Your sign, once again, is Virgo of the Virgo Libra Cusp, and your quality and element is mutable earth. And this has been September 19th, the day of fine appearances, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and you Stelfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking up your own copy and diving in deeper, or perhaps just having something on your coffee table for when company comes over so that you can get the conversation started with a big old literal icebreaker. That's right. It's going to get the conversation going for better or for worse, but it's going to get it going. That's right. So that being said, I just want to once again relate to you a heartfelt happy birthday. That's why we're here, to wish you happy birthday. And like I said, if this finds you late, I hope you had a happy birthday. But for everyone else who joined us today, well, I hope you enjoyed yourselves and celebrating the September 19th birthday, and you join us for your birthday reading. And before we forget, your daily numbers, 1 and a 1 for 2. Get out there into the world and let the universe show you it's with you on your path. All right, take care of yourself, folks, and happy birthday there, September 19th.